Hello, Claudia.
Hello, teacher.
How are you today?
Fine. A little bit tired, but okay.
Ah, okay. Let's have some fun now and relax. Okay.
Sure.
Hello, Marina. You're back. Good to see you here again. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm fine, and you?
I'm all right. Thanks for asking. Carol, good to see you again.
Hi, teacher.
Have you already memorized all the tongue twisters? Can I can like a can or can?
Teacher, of course not. I need to practice that.
Okay. Luana, I love your hair.
Thank you. Hello.
Are you good?
How are you, teacher? How was your day?
I was a bit busy, but fine. Okay. I survived it. One more day. Okay. Raquel, hello again.
Hi, teacher.
Mario, hello again. Okay, let me see who else is coming in. So before we start the class, I think most people, except I'm missing Marcus and Wagner. They have disappeared this week. Okay. Well, yesterday we did some TOEFL listening exercises, and today, in spite of some of you have done extremely well, I told you that today I would give you some tips and hints on how to master that test. It is easy when you know what to expect, okay? So I'm going to share my screen, and then we'll have some sound, and then I will explain. So, can you see my screen there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
So, I know that this test is very fast. As I told you yesterday, you have 16 seconds to listen, choose the right answer, and start playing the next one. Sometimes we are still reading the possible answers, and it's playing number 2, number 3, number 4, and you are still reading number 1. So the first thing I have to say about this part of the test is you have to try to preview what is coming. Because if you don't have any idea of what you're going to hear, it might be more difficult. For instance, look at sentence number 1. Claudia, can you read alternative A, Luana B, Marina C, and Carol D? Can you read this for me?
Okay. The coffee is much better this morning.
Luana?
The coffee tastes extremely good.
Marina?
The coffee isn't very good.
Carol?
This morning, he definitely wants some coffee.
So what is common in the 4 sentences?
Coffee.
So you can be sure that they will be talking about coffee. That's for sure. Understand? The same in number 2, for example. Let me see if there are more people here, not to forget. Raquel, Gabriel, Carol, and Luana. Can you read number 2?
Yes. The 2 classes meet in an hour and a half.
The class meets 3 hours per week.
Carol or?
Sorry, each half of the classes is an hour long.
And the last one.
2 times a week, the class meets for an hour.
So basically, what is the topic of this second conversation?
Class.
And
A
how long
class and how long it takes. Yes. Maybe the frequency or how long the class lasts. I don't know, because I have the 2 classes meet in an hour and a half, meet 3 hours per week. Each half of the class is an hour long. 2 times a week, the class meets for an hour. So it's the duration and the class and the frequency. The 3 things are here. So one thing is very important is the answer to any question, and this you can be 100% sure. The answer to any question will not be exactly what you heard. So if one day you listen to one sentence, then you look at alternative A and you say, this is exactly what I heard. At the same time, you have to tell yourself, so this is not the answer. You can say, but why, teacher, if I heard that? Because the answer is always a synonym to what you hear. They are not checking your hearing ability. To check in your hearing ability, you should go to a doctor, an eye, ear, and nose doctor, and he can check your hearing ability. The idea here is to check your understanding of spoken English. So it's very interesting. If they say, for example, the class begins, you can be sure that the word begins is not going to be in the answer. What is a possible synonym to begin?
Start.
Start.
Exactly. This will probably be in the correct answer. If they say, for example, well, whatever. I will remember that later. But anyway, the thing is, the answer is always a synonym. It's never what you hear. Never. Under any circumstance, the answer is going to be exactly what you have just heard. Okay? And they will always try to confuse you. Sometimes they create even stupid sentences just to have the same sound of what you heard. Okay? Just for you, I did myself this test about, I don't know, 100 years ago, when I needed to take the TOEFL to be accepted into the university in the United States. And I remember that in the middle of the test, I started laughing. And the guy was, shoo! And I was, sorry. Why was I laughing in the middle of the test? Because the answer was so stupid that I couldn't control myself. I still remember what the guy said was Paul and his friend argued all night. All right? This was the, what do they mean? Alternative A, just for you to have an idea, was Paul glued the end of the light. Does it make any sense to you?
No.
But Paul and his friend argued. Paul glued. Argued, glued. Paul and his friend glued the end all night of the light. When I read this, Paul glued, to glue, the end of the light. I said, what the fuck? It's not possible to be this. First, it contained words with similar sound to what I had just heard.
What
And
sorry.
Go ahead.
What I was a little bit afraid sometimes is because some expressions are a little bit weird and I don't know all of them. So sometimes that's confused me. I don't know about you guys, but like maybe I would say, oh, maybe it's tricky, I guess, because it could be an expression.
Yes,
It's
tricky.
100% tricky.
I got those two first wrong because I didn't understood correctly what they said.
Yes. But and the answer was Paul had a long argument with
His friend.
with his friend. So they argued, they had a long argument, or they had a long quarrel, okay? But not exactly almost the same sound of what I heard. So what you need to be careful is, if you ever say, this is what they said, so this is not the answer. Look for synonyms. And then what if, like Luana said, but sometimes I don't understand or I don't know, okay? So try to find an alternative which is totally different of the others, because 2 or 3 alternatives, 2 you can always eliminate because they will contain 75% of the words that you heard. And those are not the answers, okay? Like the 2 classes meet in an hour and a half. The class meets 3 hours per week. Each half of the class is an hour long. 2 times a week, the class meets for an hour. Like I would automatically eliminate A and B. I don't know. Just looking, I have not even heard, okay? Like what you have to do is try to eliminate the ones that are very similar to what you have just heard and think about the rest. And then if one of them contains at least one synonym, like if the guy says, I remember another example, I'd like a dozen eggs. And then you will have 2 sentences using the word a dozen, but the answer will be 12. Understand? Like half an hour is going to be 30 minutes. A quarter of an hour is going to be 15 minutes. Exactly. It's always like this. So just for you to have an idea, I will try again to play number 1, and then we'll talk about number 1, and I'll show you exactly what I was trying to say. See if you can listen, please.
Number 1.
Are you enjoying your coffee?
It tastes extremely bitter this morning.
Okay, did you understand the sentence? The girl asked the guy, are you enjoying your coffee? He said, it tastes extremely bitter this morning.
Bitter.
So, bitter, you see, alternative A contains the word better, which is very similar with bitter. Now, if the coffee is bitter, is it good?
No.
Or you don't know what bitter is? Nobody knows.
I like bitter coffee. I was a little bit confused because maybe if he hasn't say extremely bitter, then maybe, but yeah, bitter coffee is good.
Is it good? Oh my gosh.
Why? I mean, you wouldn't use the sugar if you want to really taste the coffee.
I'm sorry, my darling, but
only with
Sorry, teacher.
I have been drinking coffee without sugar for more than 40 years in my life. And if it's bitter, it's bitter. I don't like it. Okay. I like coffee without sugar, but it's never bitter.
Okay.
Bitter is a terrible taste for me. I don't like anything that is bitter. For example, Campari. If you read in the label, it's written there, bitter. Maybe some people like bitter things. I don't, okay? For example, if a beer like pale ale, I don't know, there are so many, I don't drink beer, but some beers are like bitter. I don't like because they are bitter. But if you, I will play again, pay attention to the intonation that the guy used to describe his coffee. The intonation is also important, no?
Yeah.
Enjoying your coffee?
It tastes extremely bitter this morning.
Was he excited about the coffee?
No.
It tastes extremely bitter this morning.
Yeah, and he's being polite.
Yes. And he even emphasized, it tastes extremely bitter this morning. Like, this is a fucking bad coffee. Understand?
I thought he was being so surprised.
No. That's why, you see, the coffee is much better. The coffee tastes extremely good. I have extremely, the same word that he used, and good to confuse you if you had understood better.
Better.
And number one, much better, extremely better. So A and B, out. And D, he definitely wants some coffee. Has no relation at all. So that's why the correct answer was C. The coffee isn't very good because it was bitter. Okay? Now, let's see number 2. It talks about classes, the duration, and the frequency. Let's see what the guy says. Oh,
What does the man mean?
the coffee is terrible. Look at the 4 answers.
Number 2.
Can you tell me how often the philosophy class meets?
It meets twice a week for an hour and a half each time.
The woman wants to know how often, the frequency, as somebody said, the philosophy class meets. And the man replied that it meets twice a week. So every sentence I have twice, I can already eliminate. Twice a week, 2 times a week, twice a week, okay? For an hour and a half. If it's twice a week, 2 times a week, for an hour and a half, 1 hour and a half plus an hour and a half makes what? 3 hours. The class meets 3 hours per week. You see? So the correct answer is letter B. The class meets 3 hours per week. So each half of the class is an hour long. No, it's an hour and a half. 2 times a week, the class meets for an hour. No, twice a week for an hour and a half. The 2 classes meet in an hour and a half. No, okay? Not in an hour. It's for an hour and a half, okay? So, okay, understand number 2?
Yes. The
Let's
first
go.
time I didn't do. All right. I changed the second time I listened this one.
I see. Okay, again, Claudia, can you read? Claudia, Carol, Raquel, Marina, can you read alternatives for number 3, please?
A few minutes ago, the flight departed.
The flight will start in a while.
They are frightened about the departure.
The plane is going to take off soon.
So the 4 of them are about flight. The plane is going to take off. And then I have alternative C, they are frightened.
Frightening.
Probably to confuse with flight. But it has to do with flight. So I'm going to play and let's see what we have.
What does the man mean? Number 3. I'm tired of just sitting here.
Relax. I'm sure that the flight will depart within a few minutes.
What does the woman mean?
The guy said he was tired of just sitting there waiting. And the woman calming him down, saying, relax, I'm sure that the flight will depart in a minute. Something like this. Soon, okay? So a few minutes ago, the flight departed? No. The flight will start in a while. Okay? They are frightened about the departure. No, they're not frightened. The plane is going to take off soon. That is the answer.
Mhm.
Okay, because it's going to depart. Depart or take off is the same. It's going to take off soon. Okay? Understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
Number 4. Again, come on. Let's read this, please. Raquel, Gabriel, Carol, anyone, just read one, A, B, C, D.
He hasn't yet begun his project.
He's supposed to do his science project next week.
He needs to start working on changing the due date.
He's been working steadily on his science project.
So in all of them, I have the word, except for letter C, project, project, science, project, okay? And then, of course, it is related to this. Then I have due date next week. I don't know if the due date, the date to deliver the project is next week. I have to listen, but at least I know what to expect. So let's listen and see what we have here.
Number 4.
The science project is due next week.
I suppose I'll have to start working on it now.
The woman said the science project is due next week. That means that's their deadline to hand in the project, right?
Yes.
So the science project is due next week. And then the guy said, I suppose I'll have to start working on it now. So if he said, I will have, he made a decision at that moment. That's why he's using, I will have to start working on it now. That means he has already started or no?
No.
No.
Oh. Okay, so the correct answer is letter A. He hasn't yet begun his project. You see, it's totally different of what he said. Letter B, he's supposed to do his science project next week. No, next week is the due date. He needs to start working on changing the due date. No, he's been working steadily, constantly on his science project. No, he's going to start now. Okay? Now, when I have a sentence like number 5, this is the easiest in the TOEFL. Why? Read the possible alternatives, please. Raquel, Gabriel, Carol, Marina, Luana, anyone. Just read it.
At the post office.
Come on, guys.
In a florist shop, in a restaurant, in a hospital delivery room.
Somebody just read everything. Okay, no problem. What do we have here in the 4 alternatives?
Places.
Places.
Exactly. So what do you think is going to be the question?
Where
Where he is.
something.
Where does this dialogue take place, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious because you have 4 locations. So the question is where? So what do I need to do? Pay attention to one keyword. They always give you one keyword. If the guy is buying stamps, he's at the post office. If he's getting a meal, he's in a restaurant. If his wife is about to deliver a baby, he's in a hospital. If the guy wants some flowers, he's in a florist shop. So one word will give you the answer because you know that you have to discover simply where. So let's see what we have.
What does the man mean? Number 5. I'd like to order a dozen roses. Do you deliver?
I already got the answer. What does he want?
Roses.
Roses.
Flowers.
He wants a dozen roses. So where is he? In a florist shop. Right? Understand? But I have not heard the answer, the question. It's not necessary. Understand? It's not necessary because the four alternatives are places. So the question is where for sure. Now, number 6. Come on, guys. Read A, B, C, D for me.
The professor drawn the cells in a lab.
Okay.
The lecture was long and boring.
The professor divided the lecture in parts.
The biologist tried to sell the results of the experiment.
Okay. Is there any vocabulary problem about the alternatives or no?
No.
No.
Okay. Let's see what we have here. And then, even if you don't understand exactly, by elimination, you can discover. Oh, listen.
Yes, we can deliver anywhere in the city by this afternoon.
Where does this conversation probably take place?
The intonation is also
Number
very
6.
important.
Did you enjoy the biology lecture?
The professor droned on and on about cell division.
What does the man mean?
Oh, he said, the professor.
Number 7.
Oops, I'm
What
sorry.
do I need to cash a check?
I need to
I
stop.
have to see.
Let me stop here. The professor drowned on and on, drowned on and on about. Yes.
About cells division.
Cell division. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On and on about cell division. You can say, oh, teacher, but I don't know what's drowned on and on. Did you observe his intonation? Was he very excited about the class?
No.
Then I have alternative A. The professor drowned the cells in a lab. That's one of the stupid things. Drowned the cells. He got the cells and put it under water and drowned the cells. It makes no sense. The lecture was long and boring. This is the answer. You can say, oh, teacher, how do you know? Because drown on and on is an idiom. That means when you keep going and going and going and you don't stop talking about that, okay? It's just like a conference that I went some time ago that lasted about 5 hours, and the guy spoke for 5 hours about the influence of the moon in the menstruation of butterflies with yellow wings.
No.
Are you being serious?
Oh, yes. You can imagine how exciting it was, okay? Listening for 5 hours about the influence of the moon in the menstruation of butterflies with the yellow wings. Only
I didn't
yellow.
know butterflies have menstruation.
Yeah, me neither. Why did you go to this conference, teacher?
It's just an example, girls. Come on.
Ah, teacher.
But now I'm really curious about it.
Yeah, I will research about it.
Yeah, go ask Google if butterflies even menstruate, okay? But imagine 5 hours talking about a stupid thing like this. The professor drawn it on and on about cell division. So the professor divided the lecture in parts. No, he was talking about cell division. He didn't divide the lecture. The biologist, because it was a biology lecture, tried to sell the results of the experiment. Stupid. So the lecture was long and boring. You see, practically, you don't have the word long and boring in what you heard, but that's the answer, okay? Number 7. What do we have here? Read for me, please. Raquel, Marina, Carol, Gabriel, Luano, whoever.
She needs to get a driver license.
2 pieces of identification are necessary.
The
The
man
man
showed
should-
check. Sorry.
Go
Ladies
ahead.
first.
Oh, thank you. The man should check to see if he needs credit.
Credit card can be used to get a driver's license.
You see, I have the word driver's license in number A, letter A and D. And then I have the word credit in number C and credit in letter D. So probably without listening, I myself would already eliminate letter A, C, and D because the words are very similar. Get a driver's license, a credit card, needs credit. Letter B is 2 pieces of identification are necessary. Has nothing to do with driver's license or anything else. Listen and see what we have. Hello, can you play? Yes.
Number 7. What do I need to cash a check?
I have to see a driver's license and a credit card.
What does the woman mean?
You see, I was right. She mentioned I need to see a driver's license and a credit card.
Credit card.
So these 2 words were used in the conversation. So they are not possible to be used in the answers. So these 2 documents, he needed to cash a check. And she asked for his driver's license and a credit card. So the correct answer is 2 pieces of identification are necessary. You see? Has nothing to do with the other alternatives. Let's see number 8. Okay. So housing. Oh, in all of them, I have housing. So it has to do with house. New York. Okay?
Yes.
Come on, read it for me, please. Anyone.
Housing within his budget is hard to locate.
It's hard to find his house in New York.
He can't afford to move his house in New York.
Housing in New York is unavailable.
Okay, so it has to do with housing in New York. Okay, so all of them contain the same. But let's see what we have.
Number 8.
Have you been able to find an apartment yet?
It's difficult to find affordable housing in New York.
What does the man mean?
The woman asked him if he had been able to find an apartment. And he said, it's hard to find an affordable apartment in New York. Affordable. Then letter C, he can't afford. I would eliminate this because it contains the same. And it's also a stupid sentence. He can't afford to move his house. Move his house? To move into another house would be okay, but move his house. Now, letter B, it's hard to find his house. He said, it's hard to find affordable houses in New York, not to find his house. So B is out. Housing in New York is unavailable. That means it doesn't exist. That's not true. The problem is it's unaffordable. That means it's difficult to pay. They're very expensive. So the correct answer is A. Housing within his budget is hard to locate because he has a budget. He can't spend like more than $1,000. So all the apartments that he found were more than 1,000. So it is hard to find affordable places to live in New York. Letter A. Understand this?
Yes. And is the only one that doesn't have New York.
Exactly. Okay. Now, read the number 9. Come on again. Each one reads one.
The boss was working on the reports.
He would have to finish the reports before the end of the next week.
He was directed to stay late and finish some work.
The last one.
He could finish the reports at home.
What do you have in practically all the sentences except one?
Reports.
Reports.
From my experience, I would eliminate A, B,
B and D.
and D automatically. Understand? Without listening. Because working reports, finished reports. So if you listen, you will see what I'm trying to explain you. All of them contain similar words, and maybe that word, if that word is used, they are out. Okay? Oh.
Number 9.
Why were you so late in getting home from work?
My boss had me finish all the month-end reports. What does the man mean?
The woman was questioning her husband why he was so late. And he told her, my boss had me finish all the monthly reports. So the boss had him finish. That means
Teacher.
the boss, yes.
How do you know that it's a husband and wife?
Could be friends.
Yes, they could be friends.
Or flatmates.
Yes.
Friends with benefits, I think.
I thought the same.
You know why? If they were just friends, do you think one friend would bother to question the other why he was late?
Be mad at him?
All right, think about it.
Yes, you are right.
Okay.
I think because you heard. Oh, sorry.
I have been married for more than 35 years. If I get home late, the first thing my wife is going to ask me, why are you late? You told me you would be home earlier.
Where have you been?
Exactly. She doesn't even care. Even if the car broke down, that's not important. She only wants to know why I'm home late. Understand?
Even if you are without a leg, she doesn't care.
No. Okay. So that's why it was a wild guess, but I'm pretty sure they are husband and wife. Okay. So anyway, the boss was working on the reports out. He would have to finish the reports before the end of next week. No, that's why he got home late. He was directed to stay late and finish some work. You see, you don't even have the work report. You have work. And he was directed. My boss had me. When I say had me, it's kind of forced me to stay and finish. So the correct alternative is letter C. Okie dokie. Now, number 10, you can say, teacher, but I couldn't understand what she said. All right, but let's see what we have here. The boisterous students made the teacher angry. Teacher, what is this? I don't understand. Don't worry about it. The teacher angered the students with the exam results. The students were angry that the teacher was around. The angered students complained to the teacher. I have angry, angered, angry, angered. It's about something that has to do with the teacher getting angry or the students getting angry. I don't know. But let's see what happened so we can eliminate easily 3 of them and go to the right answer.
Number 10.
Ms. Jones did not look too happy as she left her classroom.
She was angered by her rowdy students.
She was angered.
Angry.
She was, not the students. So eliminate letter C. The angered students, eliminate letter D. The teacher angered the students, eliminate letter B, because she was angered. But you can say, I don't know what's boisterous. I don't know what is rowdy students. Okay, honestly, that's not important because the only possible answer is letter A. The boisterous students made the teacher angry because who got angry? The teacher. That's the only one that says that the teacher got angry. Understand? But what does boisterous, what does rowdy means?
I think something bad.
Yeah, those very nice students that are always disturbing the class, you know?
A turma do fundão.
Yeah.
Naughty people.
I remember that many, I don't even remember how many, probably before you were born, I wanted my children to go to the best private school. But the best private school was expensive for a teacher to pay, understand? And then what happened? I discovered that teachers always got scholarship for their children. So I remember that I applied for a position at this school. It was Objetivo School. And I got the job and I was supposed to teach students. It was okay, but some of the classes had about 100 students. Can you believe that? How is it possible to teach 100 students at the same time? There were always rowdy students disturbing the class. And I still remember that I would always tell them, hey, go to the toilet, and stay there shaking it up until the end of the class. You don't need to come back, all right? And I would always send them out, okay? And I never filled out a report, but it was better to keep them out of the class than in the class because there were like 80 students interested in learning and 20 interested in disturbing, okay? So I always sent the disturbing, the rowdy student, the boisterous students out. And my kids could study for free. That was good, okay? Understand this?
I know, teacher. I studied at Objetivo.
Yes. So you know what I mean, okay? Some people there, it's very expensive, okay? I think that maybe nowadays I would, the salary of a teacher was terrible, but the tuition was, today I think it costs more than 2,500 reais per month. I had 2 kids, so they could study for free. I saved like 5,000 per month, but I had to put up with some rowdy students, okay? And it's very funny.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because it is so high, the
prices,
quality,
the tuition,
not even the price, the name that they have, but to have a class with 100 students, it isn't considered good.
I think it's unacceptable, but
yes, you don't have time to teach every student.
No.
Yeah, I agree. But at the universities as well, right?
Yeah, but at the universities you don't have to go. That's the difference,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, but there everyone was
the mind
supposed to
of
be
the
in
student
class.
is very different.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think I did well. I I gave class there for about 10 years. When my kids finished, I quit.
Where do you live, teacher?
At the moment, at that time or now?
At that time.
At that time, I lived in a town in Minas Gerais called Itajubá.
Ah, okay. Because you could be my teacher here in São Paulo, but not.
No. I was born in Piracicaba, in São Paulo. Okay. But at the moment,
It wasn't your daydream?
No, not really. At the moment, I live very close to Campos do Jordão. You know where Campos do Jordão is?
Yes.
I live on a farm just outside Campos do Jordão.
The teacher is rich.
Yes. No, I am a caretaker of the farm, okay? I milk the cows every morning, understand?
I know.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't really believe you, teacher. I'm sorry.
You have to
You
see
don't
my
look like-
hands. I have a lot
How
of
can I
corn
say
in
that?
my
Milk
hands.
taker? Milk taker? What is the name of the farmer?
Milker. I milk the cow.
Milker. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
look like a milker.
Oh, you have to see me milking a cow, okay? I go about a meter with the teats of the cow and I don't get a single cup of milk, okay? I only listen to the cow, "Moo," but I can't, okay? But anyway, I live just outside about, from downtown Campos do Jordão, 20 minutes, okay? All right, number 11.
We're gonna pay a visit eventually.
Yeah, okay. It's a nice place if you can ever get here. It's nice. I love the view. Take a look at number...
Teacher, if you want to, you can come to our houses too. I live close to the beach.
To the beach, I will go there. Or I live close to the beach.
To the beach?
Don't tell my wife that I'll go there because of the beaches, okay?
No, it's going to be our secret.
Okay. Okay. Don't let the bitches out, okay? Keep them in there. All right, let me finish one more.
Teacher,
Yes, Carol.
let me ask something. In the letter, in the number 6, the expression is downed on and on. But I don't know, is the correct spelling is with W, is correct? Because I knew that without the W.
Drown it. It's like this.
Yes, with W?
Yeah, W.
Okay.
Drown. The verb is drown.
Is drowned.
Drown.
Okay.
Drown it on and on.
On. Okay.
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 It's like when, have you ever seen the Supreme Court in session?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, listening to those guys droning on and on for an hour, okay? Drives me crazy, okay?
Mm-hmm. No, okay, teacher, because I knew this expression, but without the W.
Just the D,
yes,
R-O-N?
Yes, exactly.
Carol, I would even ask my friend here. No, there is no word without the W.
It would not sound drone without the W. The W.
No, there is a W, Carol. Drawn. Yeah, drawn. The only word in English with D-R-O-N is drone. Okay? But a drone, you know, like a drone.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Okay.
It's W.
Okay, teacher, thank
drawn it on and on.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Let me see here what my friend Google says. It's an idiom. It means speak for a long time in a very boring matter. Okay? Anyway, let me just give you maybe number 11 is going to easy, but it's going to surprise you. Oh, the prices are reasonable. The store is too far out of town. He would like the woman to repeat what she said. I love this one. He agrees with the woman. Here we have 4 different expressions. 4. You see, I only have prices, store, woman, agree, woman. So this one might be confusing. We have to listen. But maybe the expression that the guy used might be a new expression for you. I don't know if you got it right.
That's what.
Number 11.
Prices at this store are really outrageous.
You can say that again. What does the man mean?
You see, the woman said the prices at this store are outrageous. They are unbelievable. And then the prices are reasonable. No, it's quite the opposite. The store is too far out of town. There was no mention to the location. And then the guy said, you can say that again. Then I have letter C. He would like the woman to repeat what she said. This is for the ones that really don't have a clue of what's going on. In English, there is an idiomatic expression. You can say that again. That means I totally agree with you.
Yes.
So the correct answer is letter D. He agrees with the woman. Okay?
I heard that before from gay community.
I think I haven't heard that before.
But the teacher will teach us. We learn here. I think we learn here. In some class, the teacher said.
So you can say that again means I totally agree with you. Okay? I think there was one lesson in lower level, how to agree. Okay?
Okay.
And it's very funny because Brazilians, when they listen to this, you know what they do? They repeat. Everything. Yes.
Yeah, I assume that was that is not what the correct answer because like it wouldn't be the same thing that he said, right? But I didn't know the expression before.
Yes, you can say that again. That means I totally agree with you. I
You can
agree
say that again, girl.
You agree with her or you want her to repeat? Okay. All right. I'm sorry, we have to stop here. It's already past a lot of time after the end of the class. We'll finish this tomorrow and then we'll do another one just to see if you have improved or not. And as I have already mentioned, this week, Thursday, is a national holiday in Brazil. It's a Catholic holiday. I am Catholic, but I'm going to work. So we have class on Thursday, normal class, but no class on Friday. All right? My wife has asked me to take the day off because she wants to celebrate, okay? It's Valentine's Day. So after being married for 35 years, it's not always that your wife asks you to take the day off. So I'm very excited for the day off.
Maybe you're gonna eat some pie, teacher.
Maybe I'm gonna eat what?
Some pie or dessert.
Maybe I'm going to eat some pie?
Yeah, some special food.
Like, okay, some pie, like apple pie, cherry pie.
Probably what she meant.
A cake or something.
Dirty mind, dirty mind.
I think I'll go for the cherry pie. Anyway, I'm sure she's going to prepare something very nice. I have already said my wife is a professional chef.
Yeah.
And she even has a master's degree in international cuisine. So I don't know what. She's very, very, very good. So I don't know what she has in mind, but I'm looking forward to it. That's why I don't want to give a class. Okay.
Okay.
I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you,
And,
teacher. See you.
thank
See
you
you
for
guys.
watching my class. Bye bye now.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Bye bye.
Bye, Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Bye.